is roving wool and what is tops? My name is Charlotte Allen and you've reached my channel, The Felting Alchemist. So what is tops and roving wool? Well, when I started needle felting in 2016, I ordered myself kind of like a multi-pack from Amazon, and I think it must have been from China because it took about 2 months to arrive. But when it arrived, I was like, yes, I am going to create the best 3D sculptures that anyone has ever seen. Now, this was ambitious, admittedly, but you know, I was slightly delusional back in the day. So all this wool arrived, and it was this. Okay, it was this is a merino, so it was a merino top set of all sorts of beautiful colours, like the rainbow, and it was like being a kid in a sweet shop. And I was like, oh, the beautiful creations I can make with this wool. Oh, people are going to cry because they're so beautiful. Anyway, I started to create these sculptures, and then realised very quickly that it was taking me an incredibly long time. And even though I have to kind of give myself a bit of a break because I was starting out and I hadn't needle felted before, so I didn't really know what I was doing, so it was always going to take a little bit longer. It did take a really long time, and I think I even tried to make a needle felted mouse out of this stuff at one point, so ambitious. So why was it that my sculptures took so long to make when I was using this stuff? Well, it's basically not meant for making 3D work. Absolutely, you can use it in your 3D work, but you should not be using it in the core of your 3D work because it's just going to take you ages and it's not the right kind of wool. If you're making something 3D, you need to be using a wool bats, and I've got another video that I've made previously on that you can go to after this video to learn all about wool bats and how that's made and what you can use it in. So what is roving and tops? So basically it's shorn from the sheep, not shorn the sheep, shorn from the sheep. Oh, that was a dad joke there. And it's washed and it's carded very much like the wool bats process that I talk about in my previous video. So once it's carded and it's been taken out of the drum, and they usually dye it as well once it's been washed, it's combed and all of the short fibres are combed out of it, so you're left with these very long, smooth, rope-like pieces of wool that it's almost like hair. So you can see here, if I just pull it apart, it doesn't pull apart as easily as the wool bats that I spoke about in my previous video, but you do have these kind of lovely long fibres that are very hair-like. So generally you'll often see when you're buying a roving or a tops, and that's effectively the same thing. Roving and tops is the same thing. It's like potato, tomato, tomato, tomato. People just use different names for it, so don't get yourself kind of bogged down with that element of it. It's just the same thing. So if you look on a website and you see tops and roving, it's the same thing. Generally, what you will find when you're looking for a roving or a tops is that it's invariably a merino. Not always, but generally a merino. And merino, you can get it from Australia, New Zealand and America. So what's the difference? Well, there's not a huge amount of difference, if I'm honest. What you'll tend to find is with the New Zealand merino, they tend to make that into a wool bats as well. So you can get it like this, like a roving and tops, but you can also get it in a wool bats, whereas the Australian and American merinos tend to be more like this, the roving and tops. Now, I tend to use this kind of wool in the hair for my sculptures, especially things like my mermaids and people and things like that, but I also use it in things like my butterflies, so my 2D work. You could also use it in things like 2D painting, so when people paint with wool you could use it in that too. But it's a beautiful wool, it has many uses and it's very versatile. For now I'm going to leave you. I hope you found that useful. I'm going to be back tomorrow with more handy needle felting hints and tips. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'm posting daily at the moment, so you can find out more about the beautiful art of needle felting. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it as well, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, bye.